Mum's Routine 1000. Congratulations! According to mortally verified calculations and a few tangible degrees of intuition, this shared clockwise shuffle comprised a generous quota of strides for the recorded distance, taken at a pace that was close to your joint fastest around what has become a regular route, though at no point was quantity ever favoured over quality, with all steps being evenly distributed and demonstrating excellent lateral stability, with only slight pronation detected on your familial colleague's left foot during the final furlong, which may have been caused by uneven paving. Midsole and forefoot strike rates respectively averaged at 30 and 15% throughout the stroll, based on advanced multi-point wear pattern analysis, with a slightly higher proportion of heel-heavy plods due to negative inclines and a light, though far from mild, headwind. Mail mash. Expedited priority shipping and same-day hand delivery of a confidential document consignment, the contents of which, even more than half a century after the first email was sent, remain too official for its associated group of professionals to accept signed electronic copies of. Notwithstanding, this recurrent inconvenience in no way merited spending £3 of our monarch's precious sterling silver to ensure that his country's royally approved postal service took the referenced first-class cargo on its usual convoluted journey via at least 3 local sorting offices before arriving at the prolific Burgess Hill depot, awaiting to complete its last leg, yet still several country miles from its intended destination, and over 24 crucial hours later.
So, you can't teach an old hound new huffs? I pondered, between angry puffs and peanut-shaped pedal strokes, whilst being pummelled into a stem-chinning stoop down Harbour Way, under the relentless onslaught of our Gulf Stream's prevailing alliance. A grossly misleading proverb, even when adapted for illustrative effect. For I felt certain, after almost being capsized into a wooden post during a tentative trot across Ferryfoot Bridge, that screaming Lord South had added at least one venomous uppergust to his already broad repertoire since our previous encounter, whilst every other blustery barrage he launched throughout a subsequently curtailed sail along the coast comprehensively drowned out the delicate strains of a late-dusk chorus, and had beaten the flappy truth from St. Beaufort's emblematic weather vanes before any remotely pleasant thought could enter my head intact and depart without a resentful shiver. Bailed off the seafront and up alongside Southwick's eastern border, hoping to escape any further elemental abuse and enjoy a relatively sheltered return voyage through Mile Oak's glowing gardens. A dense semicircle of deciduous sentinels that guarded the darkened dwellings along Hill Farm Way stretched their skeletal limbs towards a starless sky and incanted snarls of condemnation in response to every turbulent crescendo, but ultimately provided little respite, though inescapable Newtonian laws proved of pivotal aid against my grudging foe as I traversed back to Shoreham's old village via eternally trampled stomping ground. And one day of virulent viral incubation later, both divided phases in this partially financed session of casually structured fitness maintenance consisted largely of freelance missions for those citizens of our quirky vicinity who were far too burdened by domestic chores to go grab their own pre-clicked, picked and packed grocery bundles from whichever supermarket stocked organic ready meals that were sure to microwave faster than any flavoured fairy liquids, dual-action dishwasher tablets, and bio-free fabric conditioners could shift the stickiest residue from Auntie Olga's cherished antique cutlery and mock Ming Dynasty tableware, or obliterate every stubborn stain from those awkward mixed loads of luxury bed linens, lycra sportswear, pure cotton pyjamas, iron-only undergarments, and at least one hand-knitted merino wool shirt, without a 90-degree rinse, or rendering their soft, fluffy fibres flatter than fly-mown astroturf. And then there were a small minority evidently so superstitious that they couldn't bring themselves to execute a self-service takeaway on what has historically proven to be the third unluckiest dawn within those months when Friday happens to fall upon the 13th. After one large consignment of flavoured air, including, so far as I could sniff, boutique French brand Parfum de Provence's new spring fragrance, Honeysuckle Fever, now available in refillable and disposable pods, had been duly transported from our high street's leading vape specialist to a recovering nicotine addict on the lower side of Southwick Green, with my employer's militant age verification procedure followed to the digit. The only priority item on my personal shopping list was a certain lemon-infused medicinal remedy formulated to alleviate the symptoms of humanity's most common ailment, and currently sold over the counter at your nearest pharmacy, off the shelf somewhere in between the hair care and first aid sections of all prominent supermarkets, or maybe next to the spirits at any licensed convenience vendor at a rate of roughly 40 pence per sachet. Though this popular, fast-acting, multi-purpose solution contains ingredients that are intended to provide their consumer instant and lasting relief from such persistent cold and flu-like symptoms as a throbbing headache, high temperature, aching joints, as well as soothe inflamed sinuses and alleviate nasal congestion, any responsible best-selling GP would also advise that its curative qualities can be accelerated by an equally effective physical treatment known as sweating it out.